What's going on, boxing fam? Subscribe or die trying. Get familiar. Shawn Porter, that's me rubbing my hands together because I'm anxious for this fight. Shawn Porter versus Adrian the Problem Broner has just been announced. This fight is going to be in June on free TV, Premier Boxing Champions. Now, a lot of people this fight came pretty much out of the blue to a lot of people, and it was extremely shocking. And I don't even think a lot of people even realize why it was so shocking to them. Like they think it was shocking because they didn't expect it. But one of the reasons this fight is shocking is because fights like this normally don't happen in boxing. What I mean by that is boxing kind of goes off of the format of wrestling. How there's normally a good guy versus a bad guy, or it's normally the puncher versus the boxer. The Lucas Matisse versus Provodnikov fight was another fight like this. It was surprising because those two type of fighters normally won't be matched up against each other. And what I mean by types of fighters is you had two punchers and two fan favorites. Normally you will have the puncher versus the boxer, or the fan favorite versus someone that the fans want to see lose. So when you have two fan favorites who are also two sluggers fight each other, it was surprising. And that's the same with this fight. Even though it's not, as far as Shawn Porter and Adrian Broner, they're not two boxers that are hated by the fans. Most people like Shawn Porter. Well, I won't say most, but a lot of people dislike Adrian Broner. But them two fighting each other was not something I expected. Not at all. Two styles that I didn't expect them to put in the ring together, as far as styles, as far as fighting styles and personality styles. But with that being said, with them doing it, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Now you have Shawn Porter from Cleveland, Ohio. You have Adrian the Problem Broner from Cincinnati, Ohio. I also live in Ohio, so it's a pretty dope matchup to watch the two Ohio boys go at it. Uh, Shawn Porter, a lot of people were viewing Shawn Porter as I've heard people call him like a baby Tyson in the welterweight division. He's very aggressive, hard puncher. Comes at you nonstop. He's rugged. He likes to rough you up. I don't want to say he fights dirty. Uh, as far as dirty, as far as cheating, but he doesn't fight a pretty boy type fight. It's very rugged, his style. You better be in shape if you're fighting Shawn Porter, because he's going to rough you up on the inside. He's going to come with a lot of wild punches from different angles, and he's not going to make it a pretty fight at all. And another factor is Shawn Porter is a pretty big welterweight. He's not tall, but it's like he pretty much has a struggle to make 147. This fight is going to be at 144. Adrian Broner, on the other hand, is a small welterweight who has been campaigning for his last two fights at 105 40 pounds at junior welterweight. So he's going to be fighting at 144 this time. And, he's fought at a full 147 against Marcos Maidana and Paulie Malignaggi. Now, both of them have a common opponent in Paulie. Adrian Broner and Paulie went 12 rounds. They went the distance. Some people actually think Paulie won. I'm not one of them. But some people think it. I don't really think the fight was all that close. But did go to distance. Shawn Porter, on the other hand, fought Paulie and knocked Paulie out, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, in 2 rounds. I'm not sure if it's exactly 2, but I know it didn't go much further than that. He blasted Paulie up out of there. So now these two are meeting each other in the ring. So the obvious prediction for most people, especially if you're going with common opponents, is you're gonna look at you're gonna look at the fact that Shawn Porter knocked out the common opponent, and Shawn Porter is more comfortable at a heavier weight than Adrian Broner is at that weight. Now, one factor I look at is the fact of the Adrian Broner versus Marcos Maidana fight, where Maidana came in there and overwhelmed Broner, jumped on him early with a lot of a wild style with unconventional punches, kind of like a Shawn Porter, and Adrian Broner had a lot of trouble. He went down for first time in his career in that fight, and Marcos Maidana had Adrian Broner in a lot of trouble for most of that fight. One thing that people forget though is during that fight, Adrian Broner he got back in the fight, and going into like the 9th round, it was getting a lot closer, and then he got dropped again, and when he got dropped again, it kind of put the icing on the cake. But even going into the final round, Adrian Broner was coming on again. He showed a lot of grit and determination. People really look at that fight as Broner just got destroyed. But that fight, Broner had some good moments in that fight and showed me a lot. And with that is one of the reasons where I pick Adrian Broner to win this fight versus Shawn Porter. I would not be surprised if he stopped Shawn Porter. One thing I've noticed about Premier Boxing Championships, when they set up these fights, a lot of these fights they're all pretty much very competitive. They're set up to be very competitive. But one other aspect that I've noticed is most of these fights are set up so that one fighter is showcased. Now, being that they're both managed by Al Heyman, it's kind of the same as most promoters. When they match their fighters up, they set somebody up to win. Like Canelo versus Kirkland. My prediction video, part of my prediction was I predicted Canelo to win and win impressively because Golden Boy set him up to look impressive. It was a very close matchup to the general public, but Golden Boy set him up to look great. I think in this fight, Al Heyman is setting Adrian Broner up to look great in this fight. Now, if Shawn Porter happens to win and he looks great, that'd be perfect for Premier Boxing Championships also, and Al Heyman. But I don't think he's the one that's set up to actually shine in this. I think it's Adrian Broner. I think Shawn Porter's style, even though people look at it like it's going to be a bad matchup for Broner, I think it's going to be great for Broner. I think Shawn Porter is going to have trouble, and this is going to be a bold statement, but I think Shawn Porter is going to have trouble dealing with Adrian Broner's power. I think Broner's going to catch him clean with a lot of shots coming in, and Shawn Porter's going to be trying to do a lot of inside fighting. I think Adrian Broner is a more effective inside fighter than Shawn Porter, and I think when Shawn Porter makes his way to the inside, which he's going to take a lot of straight rights and left hooks to get inside. I think once he gets inside, it's not going to be quite what he wants it to be once he gets inside. I think he's going to get inside and then actually get punished even more once he's inside. I pick Adrian Broner to win this fight by unanimous decision or late stoppage. Personally, no disrespect to Shawn Porter, but I've never thought Shawn Porter was all that good to begin with. Not to say that he's a bad fighter, but I've never been on the Shawn Porter bandwagon where I thought Shawn Porter was going to be one of the great fighters at welterweight. A side note is his dad, Kenny Porter. Personally to me seems like a undercover Mayweather hater. Could I say? He doesn't seem very impressed with the that Mayweather style of boxing, and he's going to get his opportunity to deal with somewhat of a Mayweather style, dealing with Adrian Broner uh, in June when they fight. And I want to see. I'm very curious to see how Kenny Porter, what game plan he comes up with to deal with that style. I think uh, after his son gets wrecked in June, I think he's gonna have a little more respect for that Mayweather type style, because this isn't even the style. This is a poor man's version of the Mayweather style, and I don't think Shawn Porter's going to be able to deal with it at all. Adrian Broner, 12-round decision or late knockout. You heard it here first. Let me know what you think in the comments section. This is going to be a great fight, folks. Get familiar. Peace.